Present that this meeting has been duly called. The notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. We may adjourn into closed session during this meeting. If we do so, I will cite the subsection of the code. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have everybody here tonight? Begin with some special recognitions.
Bagel.
And Mr. Rares. All right, let's start off with some exciting news. We've got a little ceremony that we want to perform. We have opened our Wildcat Success Center, and KISD board members, we have some graduates. And so tonight we are going to start off with a graduation ceremony.
Oh wait, wrong one. Oh my word. Oh wait. Okay, I promise I screen these. Here we go.
KISD board member, Superintendent G, the first thing that I want to do tonight is confirm that these graduates have met all of the requirements as outlined by the state of Texas to become graduates of the Kennedale Independent School District. And so, Mr. G, upon your blessing and the board's blessing, I'd like to certify these graduates. All right. First of all, tonight, these graduates, we were supposed to have 3 members. One of them is working. And we have 2 of our most recent graduates, the Wildcat Success Center. We are now up to 6 graduates, and we are approaching 7. And we know very well what that does for us. And tonight I've got to do an improvement plan presentation, and one of those pieces that we wanted was to improve our graduation rate, and these guys have stepped right in. I've known these guys for quite some time, and so without further ado, I want to recognize our first graduate tonight. His name is Luis Angel Espinoza. He is with his parents tonight. They are Juliana Reyanaga and his father, Antonio Espinoza. And I'm going to have Ms. Ramirez translate into Spanish as I go. Ms. Ramirez?
Están con los dos padres que vienen aquí en la noche para apoyar a su hijo Ángel.
In Luis's next steps after graduation, he would like to attend a tech school.
Después que su graduación, él van a entrar una educación de técnica.
When asked if he'd like to list any special thanks to anyone, any people, any teachers who have helped him stay encouraged and motivated to get his diploma, he said he would like to thank every teacher I had throughout high school and my parents and his twin brother.
Él quiere dar gracias a todos los maestros que apoyaron entre su estudio en high school. También quiere dar gracias a los dos padres para siempre apoyarlos. Y su hermano, su gemelo, que no está aquí. Where's he at right now?
Fort Lee, Virginia.
He's in Fort Lee, Virginia. In what armed service?
Army.
He's in the Army. Felicidades a su otro hijo también. Congratulations to your other son as well, who's serving in the Army.
Mr. Espinoza and Ms. Reyanaga, I'd like to present a class of 2019 graduate, Luis Angel Espinoza. I'm going to have you stand right there. And Luis, we will get some pictures here just briefly, but I want to talk about our next graduate. Our next graduate, his name is Johnny Rivas. He is also a member of the class of 2019. His family members here tonight are Ben Ojeda, his father, Ina Karina Rivas, his mother, his stepfather, Raul Torres, his brother, Benjamin Ojeda, and his other brother, Brian Rivas. He also has his brothers, Brisa, Joshua, his brothers and sisters, Brisa and Joshua. And so he's got 4 siblings, mom, dad, and stepdad here tonight. Will you go ahead and stand so that we can recognize you? When asked to list what his next steps or plans are after graduation, he said he'd like to go to Lincoln Tech to study CNC machining.
Good job.
He's not like to. He is starting
Oh.
CNC machinery at Lincoln Tech. When? November 19th. He's already signed up to begin their CNC program on machinery at Lincoln Tech.
You want to do that in Spanish as well?
It's almost the same.
Almost the same.
Quiere estudiar la técnica de maquinaria de CNC in Lincoln Tech.
All right. Now this is going to be nice. He said to list any special people or teachers who helped him stay encouraged and motivated to get their diploma. He said Miss Ramirez, Coach Littleton, Miss Strange, and his family.
Quiero dar gracias a su consejera, señor Ramírez, su maestra, señora Strange, que es maestro de inglés, Coach Littleton, que es el director o maestro en Wildcat Success Center, y también toda su familia muy grande.
Mr. Ojeda, Ms. Rivas, Mr. Torres, I'd like to present class of 2019 graduate Johnny Jarrett Rivas.
Yay!
Board, we would like to get a picture of the graduates with you. Okay, I don't know the best way to do this. If y'all will walk this way, we will stand on the other side of the balloons. Graduates, if you'll head this way, the board is going to line up behind you and you are going to stand in front. Okay? We're going to do that right here. I'm going to have everybody scoot down that way a little bit. We can get 2 on this side of it, and that way Mr. Strange can come on in, or I'll come on in with you guys. Okay. That is it.
I did it. Good job.
You're taking a picture, tell us to look at you. Mom, you can scoot this way.
Señor, ¿quiere tomar
Right in the
foto?
center.
Sí, él tiene. Okay.
Now, parents, if you would like a picture with the graduates.
We did all that before
We
you.
did all that before.
That's how we kill 20 minutes of fun time.
So come stand right back in front of the board, right up here. Mr. G, we got one more thing to do, but the board can come have a seat back down. Thank you, Mr. Strange, for the balloons. Graduates, I want to make sure we don't miss our traditions. It is a tradition of graduates to move your tassel upon graduation from left to right. This time, please take your tassels and place them from left to right.
Yay! You're now
And it is also, wait a minute, it is also,
Watch out.
it's also a tradition to throw your hats. We'll do that on the count of 3. We just are not going to throw them at the principal. So 1, 2, 3.
Yay!
You guys come up here and then go back around.
Congratulations. Johnny, good job. So proud of you. of those common circumstances from wrestling.
And parents, at this time of those graduates, y'all may leave. I did tell them y'all would be buying dinner, so I don't know if that's true or not. But at this time, you and your families may leave. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I promise those sweet little brothers, sisters, brother patients, they can take some more.
Yep.
On this side too?
We have, Board, we had one more recognition to do tonight. I think we may have to do that next month. It is for a student who received a National Merit Recognition for being a commended student, also recognized by the College Board as a National Hispanic Scholar, and we were going to have to do that next month. And so I think that young man also has many recognitions to come this year, and we'll get there. But thank you.
Thank you.
Have the principals month. Feel free to do it. There. Mine on this. Yeah. This is corresponding. You have Governor Abbott.
It's in front, right there. In front of
It's
them.
in here.
No, it was laid out in front of them.
All right. This is a proclamation from Governor Abbott from the state of Texas to all whom these presents shall come. Greetings known ye that this official recognition is presented to all observing Principals Month, October 2019. The most important. Need glasses. I didn't bring one.
No, Mary.
Made me read it. That ain't helping. Okay. The most important part of ensuring that young Texans can fulfill the potential of their bright futures is providing our children with a rigorous and well-rounded education. Principals are a vital part of our children's education as they set the academic tone for their schools by working collaboratively with teachers to build high academic standards, set performance goals, and utilize best practices for achieving these goals. At this time, I encourage Texans to learn more about the contributions of elementary, middle, and high school principals and the role they play in ensuring every child has access to a high-quality education in a safe, supportive environment. First Lady Cecilia Abbott joins me in wishing you the best. Governor Abbott. At this time, we would like to bring our principals down and present you with
Something.
a few gifts. Now that I butchered the proclamation.
You butchered it.
Mr. Dave.
Thank you, School Board.
Mr. Rhines.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mark. Thank you so very much.
The pictures. I'm on the website.
Thank you, principals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a note this week.
Correspondence. We had no correspondence. I do not believe we had correspondence to read.
Okay.
That brings us down to public comments. Have a couple signed up here.
Okay.
Mr. Lasada? State your name and your address for the record. And
Hi, my name is Gary Lasada. I live at 802 Dove Creek Trail, South Lake, Texas. I have a handout. Can I give that to you?
Sure.
Or? Okay. Just pass it down.
Okay.
Probably be easier. I think there's enough.
I need it for the next one then.
Yeah, I'll get it right.
That was a lucky guess. I didn't know I'd have that many. Okay. Okay. Board President Hunt, Superintendent G, and members of the board. My name is Gary Lasada, and I am here tonight to ask you to consider voting for me for the Tarrant Appraisal District Board of Directors. On Tuesday, October 1st of this year, the city of Colleyville, by resolution, nominated me for the TAD board. I met with Mayor Newton prior to the council meeting and presented my resume and a copy of my testimony before the Texas Senate Property Tax Reform Committee hearing held in Arlington on April 27, 2016. I believe he was most impressed. Should be a letter, I believe, heading to you, not in my packet, but I think that the mayor had sent out a letter to all of the taxing entities recommending that you consider my actual vote for that position. My testimony actually comes from serving 6 years on the Tarrant Appraisal District Review Board. I served as panel chair for all 6 years and witnessed many issues as outlined in my testimony. I'm not part of the good old boy system, and while attending Stanford University, I was taught how to think on my own. The TAD's Board of Directors needs individuals on the board who know what is going on and can think on their own and introduce change. I am uniquely qualified to be considered for this position. Rather than bore you with a lot of details and self-serving comments, I'll just give you a few highlights and hope that you take the time to look at this and consider my request. I have a master's degree in education from Stanford University and a bachelor's degree from University of San Francisco. I've lived in Arlington for over 20 years and currently live in South Lake for the past 6 years. I have owned and operated 2 businesses, served on blue chip committees for the superintendent, blue chip committees for Arlington ISD, and I have held positions as assistant to the city manager and assistant to the superintendent of schools. I also have worked in corporate world as a director of human resources. I have much more to tell you, but I'll stop at this point, ask you to read that. And I don't know if it's appropriate for you to ask questions at this time or not, but if you do, I'd love to answer whatever I can.
Anybody need any clarification? Thank you.
All right. I will ask you to consider these votes. It's a very important position, and thank you for your time.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
When are they sending it out for us to vote? Do you know that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
When
you.
is the appraisal district sending it out for us to vote on it?
Well, that's supposed to come out momentarily. The 15th of October was the deadline for submission of nominations.
30th of October is the ballot dissemination.
Yes, so it's supposed to come out at that time frame, and then the final votes are to be tallied by the 15th of December. So I suggest to you that you not tarry too much because it may get left behind. Thanks again.
Can we have Mr. Bennett? Mr. Bennett, please state your name, your address, and your topic.
My name's Daniel Bennett, 408 Pemberton, White Settlement, Texas. In 2017, I don't know if you remember me, I was a nominee. I came and spoke to y'all and had a very good rapport with, I believe, this board. And you were gracious enough to give me 8 votes out of your 24, and I want to thank you again for that. I think I came back and thanked y'all after the election was over, even though I didn't win. I came by and saw Ms. Williams, I believe, about 3 weeks ago. I gave her a resolution, and that's why I'd like to speak about the process of casting your ballots for the board directors. I'm not running. I'm not a candidate. Mr. Lasada is. He's versed in property tax code for commercial and residential. He trained ARB people when they came to TAD. That was his duty. This resolution is something that I experienced in having to come to 64 different taxing entities in such a short amount of time, from October 30th to December 15th. That's quite a few trustees to get in front of and to communicate and ask what it is that can better serve you. because that's what this is boiling down to, service. And we need to be able to vet candidates who will provide service to this board, to the school district, and to our citizens and teachers behind us. This resolution that I gave Ms. Williams better streamlines the process. I don't believe this resolution will become a path forward. I was under the belief that Mr. Law, once he received this before October 1st, was required to put it out for a vote. I don't believe Mr. Law will do this. I believe he wants 75% of all taxing units that are eligible to cast votes for the board of directors need to approve this resolution for it to become a path forward. What this resolution says is that instead of everybody voting hodgepodge, because you meet once a month, is that true? Okay, so you'll probably vote in November, because if your next board meeting is at the December 15th, you have to vote in November, unless you call a special meeting to vote. Well, what this thing says is that everyone votes in the last week of the election. So if you don't have a called meeting in December, say it's the 23rd, and you'd rather vote in December, you still could call a special meeting on the 14th anyway. Colleyville doesn't even have a meeting this week. They would have to call a special meeting. That's 1 week out of 104 weeks. What this does, it causes all the entities to vote within the same week, but it also provides opportunity for candidates to come visit you. It gives you an opportunity to reach out to the candidates. This is about serving this board. That's why Mr. Losada's here tonight. When I went to city council, they said, Mr. Bennett, why are you here? I said, I'm here to ask you, what are your issues? How can I serve you? I've been here 20 years and not one person's ever asked me that question. I said, well, if I get on the board, it won't be the last time you'll see me. Well, it became difficult for me to do this process, and Mayor Newton thought that this resolution would make it fairer, would give the entities a chance to vet candidates that would best serve you. And I would hope that you would consider this. I don't believe it's even an issue this year. It may become an issue 2 years from this election cycle. But I do know there's going to be bills written in 2021 that's going to fix this antiquated system that doesn't serve the taxpayers or the taxing entities. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's all we have on public. Mr. Losada, Mr. Bennett, you can leave or stay if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No comments on agenda items, right?
Okay, that brings us down to the consent agenda. All items underneath this heading can be approved with a single motion. Anything been called in? I'll stand for a motion.
Make a motion to pass all items on the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We got some items under old business here.
The first item is a drug testing program. Our drug testing program, adding to it the addition of nicotine testing, which is $1 per test. But now the state has outlawed nicotine products through the age of 21. We know the severity of vaping, and vaping falls under this. Coach Barrett is very adamant that he thinks that this is something we need to add into our procedures.
We don't need to take action on it or anything, right?
He's right.
Can I ask a quick question? Have they looked at if parents smoke and the children don't? Is there a level that you could get from secondhand smoke that you would actually?
I think it's the same as like with marijuana.
Okay.
You know, parents who may be smoking it and the children being around it. The test definitely can dictate or tell the difference between active smokers and ones who are just the secondhand smoke.
Okay, that's just one of the things I thought about.
That's a good point, but I think it's very relatable to that.
We're gonna have a consultation with our attorneys, looks like, but let's go down to item C before we do that.
Okay. On the PAC, we looked at, really, we were looking at trying to negotiate and find some other companies come and give us estimates. Weren't able to do that. The lighting for the LED lights came back about $15,000 more than what we thought it was going to be. Basically, you approved up to $250,000. The reduced bid came back to $265,000. So basically, we just need the approval for $15,000 more to fix the LED lighting.
Any questions or discussion?
And that's to replace the current lighting system. We're not,
What we have is not LED lighting.
right.
And it's
Right.
replacing all of the lighting in there, but it's more expensive than what we had hoped it was gonna be.
So discussion, I'll stand for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve an additional $15,000 for the additional funding for the work needed at the KISD Performing Arts Center.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. At this time, under subsection 071, we're gonna go into closed session for consultation with our attorneys. The time is 8:05.